Good morning, everyone. Hello, I'm finally back. It's been, I don't know, weeks since my last video. My microphone is dead, so I hope there's no problems hearing me. I will try to talk loud, but I know that my voice is not very loud. So I'm here for a WIP and Chat just to catch up and let everybody know what I've been up to. I'm working right now on a Diamond Art Club, All Dogs Do Go to Heaven. And I just started this very left-hand corner. I'm left-handed, so in doing it different ways, I found that if I start on the left, when I'm moving my hand across or up the canvas, the diamonds are underneath where my hand might touch the canvas, and that way it just doesn't stick. And I know I can use reverse papers, but it's just the way I like to do it. But anyway, thank you if you are just joining my channel for the first time. Welcome, and thank you to all of you who have been watching my sporadic, seldom videos. I just do this for fun, but I thought today, starting the new year, would be good to catch up with everyone, wish everyone a happy new year, and yeah, I hope everybody's diamond painting today. Maybe a lot of you are off work. I have been busy the last couple weeks with helping my daughter. She had some surgery and she's doing okay. She's in her late 30s and she has two children. So I've been helping her with the children. Um, and other than that, just keeping busy with work. I'm right now going to start this section of the swirly cloud in the middle here. It looks like we've got some ABs that are white or like a clear white, probably more of a white. But I guess to start out, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but nothing serious. But my neighborhood had adopted a dog from our no-kill animal shelter. Actually, they were foster parents. This glue dot, excuse me, is really holding on to these AB covered drills, which I'm sure you all have experienced. But anyway, so this family is a foster for a little tiny Chihuahua. And on Tuesday, being that the dog and 49 other dogs came from a hoarding house in South Florida, and they were very, I'll just say, abused. It is a very frightened little dog, and all of them are. And a tiny little Chihuahua, less than 10 pounds, was walking back to his house with his adopted, or I should say foster family, and got scared of a noise and actually got loose from his hand with his leash still attached and took off running. And this was Tuesday, this past week. So every chance I've had, I've been going out. There's a lot of agriculture around this development, and the development is set back, so there's orange groves and agriculture and woods, and a whole team of us have been out there. They've had drones with infrared light to detect animal heat, and he was spotted on Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which was the fourth day, which I'm assuming that he probably was hiding until hunger overtook his desire to stay in hideout. And he was spotted running down the part of the road that turns to dirt just south of my neighborhood. His leash was still attached, and he has one of those martingale collars on, so if he were to get hung up and tried to pull out of the leash, it would just tighten even tighter around his neck. So anyway, this poor baby is still out. We had no luck locating him Friday, no luck locating him yesterday. We've had some really chilly weather on top of that, fireworks, so it's pretty heartbreaking. So I ask those of you to keep him in your thoughts. If you pray, please pray for the poor little fellow. At this point, I just want closure. I know that there's coyote in the area. I know there's wild pigs in the area. And him being so small and scared, it's just really hard for me. But like I said, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. I'm mentioning it for two reasons. One is I want everyone to, keep them in your prayers or in your thoughts, and maybe by, some miracle, somebody that isn't on Facebook or isn't really checking their neighborhood posts through any social medias that we've been putting him on, um, maybe they have him safe inside of their home. I don't know. And it's the holidays, so the shelters are closed. So we don't know if anybody has him that might have wanted to get and, check and see if he has a chip. But on another note, there are quite a few of these dogs that are slowly recuperating from their bad situation. And one by one, the shelter is putting them online, and they've named them all after food and condiments. So the little guy that's missing is named Tabasco, although they don't know their names because the shelter was the one that gave them the names, and they've only been in the shelter at most, I think probably 6 weeks. They're all different ages. There's some that are 7, 8, 10 years old, and there's some that are 1 year old. A lot of them, they found plastic inside their tummies because they weren't getting any food and they were just eating a lot of debris that they could find in the home. Some of them were caged, some of them were deceased. So it's really bad, sad situation. So I can understand why this little dog is not wanting to come to anyone because he's just so scared. So on that thought, I put in a application. I had a dog for 15 years, a little Chihuahua, looked a lot like these little white Chihuahuas. And they're Chihuahua mixes. Some of them are Chihuahua Rat Terriers like mine, and some are other mixes, but they're all very small. So I am ready to adopt. I had been thinking about it for probably the last month, that I really miss not having a dog, and I just feel like I've got a lot of love to share. So I put in an application on Friday to adopt one of the little dogs. The one I was looking at that looked like it really needed a lot of love, they all do, but his name is Wasabi. So I put in an application because they ask which dog are you looking at, but then with the search, I ran into some of the shelter volunteers, and they told me that Wasabi was already pretty much through the process of adoption, which is good. So I took another look, and there's one called Tartar Sauce, and he is a scrawny little spindle, let me tell you. So I don't think that he has been adopted yet, and I'm sure that this week they'll be putting more up for adoption. But as they get checked out, and all of them had a terrible flea problem. A lot of them had tapeworms and other worms. Just, they skin ailments, just a mess. So I kind of have my eye on Tartar Sauce, who's probably about maybe 6 pounds. He is 7 years old, and I wish that they were open today because that's where I would be this morning. I will have to wait till Wednesday since I have to work tomorrow, and I pretty much work from morning until night, so I won't have a chance to even run over there at any time during the day. But I did put in that application, so fingers crossed that they'll approve me, which I'm sure they will. And I will be sure to let everybody know which one I end up with. So I do have a finish that I did recently. I've actually finished a couple of them, but I've gifted them at the Christmas time. The one that I still have is also a Christmas gift, and it's for my sister. She knows about it, and I actually showed her pictures of it to make sure that she liked it, and she does, because I definitely don't want to give them to people that are not really looking to have anything hung in their home or set up anywhere because, who wants clutter? But anyway, she fell in love with this finish that I did, and her husband, he really likes it a lot too. And so I'll go ahead and show that to you in a few minutes. It's a diamond dots and it's called Aquarium. And this one that I'm doing, I thought about doing when I was, over the loss of my dog, but with everything, and that was in May, so it's a slow process. I mean, I'm still grieving, but I'm ready. I'm ready to take in another dog. And so this one was just the right timing for me, and I had planned actually when I started my aquarium that the next one would be my cherry blossom tree with the birds on the branch, but I just, my heart went to this one. So it's a really beautiful one. It's larger than I thought. This one's 52 centimeters by 73 centimeters, which I'm sure is, well, I'm not sure actually. Do I have my measuring tape? I was going to say I'm sure it's the complete canvas, but it might be the image. Oh, okay, pasting area. So maybe it is, and then inches 20.5 by 28.7 inches. So it is a big one. It's not huge. I have done bigger, but it's, like I said, it's larger than I thought. What else is going on? I had a good Christmas. Got to see my grandkids, of course. I see them often, so I'm very fortunate. But they had a good Christmas, and all is well on that front. We got through it, and now it's after the new year, and everybody will be getting back to normal schedules. I did work some extra days this past week, which is good for the paycheck. A coworker was on vacation, and she worked for me 2 weeks because I was helping my daughter when she got out of the hospital. So it's good to have coworkers that are so willing to chip in when you're down and out or you need to be off. And we job share anyway. She does 2 days and I do 2 days. So that works out well. I can't think of really much else that's going on. I guess my brain is just so wrapped around trying to find that dog. I can't really think a whole lot about much else. Had a couple expenses because of a leak in the master shower of my townhome, and because the grout, I guess, had separated and allowed water to drip through into the ceiling, and after it dripped for so long, it could have been going on for a long time without us knowing, it finally opened up a crack in the ceiling and water started coming out, which was like, oh great, how much is this going to cost? Plus we didn't know it was the grout problem. We feared a broken pipe or something along that line, but it turned out to be the least expensive of all repairs. They didn't have to go under the floor, just recaulk the whole shower. And we're still waiting for the drywall patch in the ceiling in the kitchen, but we wanted to be sure that that was indeed the cause of the leak before we patch the ceiling back up. And then right after that, we got a leak in the air conditioning unit, which we didn't know what was going on, and the thermostat went out. So it was two problems, unrelated, but that happened pretty much at the same time. So we had to have the air conditioning fixed, the leak, and the thermostat. It's a smart meter, and from what the guy was telling us, smart meters don't last, more than 5 years. So it's probably 5 years now in that house, and, like clockwork, I guess, it happened. I single place. I can multi-place, but I like the process of single placing. So, and I always have my hands all over the canvas. It's just, sometimes I just feel the need to push them down, even though they stick well. I'm still using the pen with the big squishy, which is a makeup sponge from Dollar Tree, that I used a Phillips screwdriver to poke the hole and then push the pen in. And I have like this little magnifying glass thing on the end if you see something dangling. But anyway, it's perfect grip for me, and it's super spongy, and I haven't had any problems whatsoever with pain in my hand like I had been. Getting hoarse. Let me get a sip. So anyway, people had commented, and I haven't gotten back to my comments, and they were asking if I was okay. And I hope they see this video because I don't want them to worry. I am okay. And I just don't put out videos very often. I was doing some Temu hauls, kind of like monthly, maybe every 2 weeks. But I haven't really been buying much from Temu, and it would be such a short video if I did get a package. I've gotten a couple sweaters, and I've bought some diamond paintings, which I guess that I could have shown, but anyway, I pretty much have them flattened out and separated from their drills right now because that's what I do. As soon as I get new diamond paintings, I put them in my book, my portfolio, number them, and put the drills in a separate bin. So I've gotten a couple new ones. I'm probably up to about 86 or more canvases to do, not completions, but to do. So I've got quite a bit, and I'm trying not to buy any more unless it's one that I have to have and I'm afraid it'll go out of stock if I don't get it. But no more just willy-nilly shopping for diamond paintings. A lot of you have commented, or not commented on my post, but I've seen on other video hauls, Walmart is carrying some diamond paintings. I think they might be diamond dots. I'm not absolutely sure. They might just be some generic brand, but some of them looked really nice. I don't have that in my Walmart. I've checked a couple times. Every time I go in there, I quickly take a peek to see if they may have gotten some in stock. But you can buy them online, and they do offer free shipping. I think you have to spend $35. I could be wrong, but I do have a Michael's near me, and when I would get a coupon for 50% off, I would run over to Michael's and pick up one of their make markets because I really like the quality of those. But I haven't done that in a while. So now I'm switching to, actually I was going to, I think I'm going to switch to the equal sign. And the equal sign is number 22. Okay, we got some more kind of white color. So I'm going to take just a second here to show you my completion. I have it right here next to me. It's a double canvas, diamond dots, and I posted on Facebook in a couple groups what I did to frame it. So I thought it was kind of interesting to share these. So this is one of them. And like I said, it's called Aquarium. I'm not probably going to be able to get the whole thing without moving my camera, and I hate to do that unless I have to, but this is one. Oh, okay. And then the second one matches it. This is the other one. I did seal them. I put the diamond dots, not diamond dots. I put the diamond painting sealer that I got from Temu. I've used it a lot, and it seems to be doing pretty good with the sparkle. So I have a whole bunch of it, so I want to use it up before I start my polyacrylic, which I had bought. So these are the two. Now, the first one I did to frame it, I actually learned a couple things. So what the framing is, this is like a canvas, and this canvas actually has printing past the sticky part. So if you look at it, we'll see, look at there, you can see that part of the frame is catching the white part. Okay, so so I like the wraparound effect. So the diamonds are all up here and not going around the edge. So what I did was I went to Dollar Tree and I picked up two 8x10 frames because the size of this painting is 8x19.5. So you put two 8x10s together and you glue them together vertically, and then you have a nice, you can see it. Those are the Dollar Tree frames. I took the canvas off this set right here, and then I stapled it with my staple gun, which I got from Temu. So the corners aren't too bad. They're not the best. But anyway, so like I said, I just wrapped this canvas around two Dollar Tree frames, and I used wood glue and hot glue. And then I took my hair clips and I held it together. And I let it sit overnight, probably a couple days actually, until I had finished this. So then the second one I finished, it was such a hassle to try to get that canvas off the Dollar Tree frames. I had to cut it off with scissors, that I decided that I wouldn't cut off the canvas. I would just frame over the top of it. So I had a black one and I had like a burlap one, both 8x10. But it's almost impossible to pull these staples out. I tried using a flathead screwdriver and almost cut my finger. So I just thought, the heck with it. I'm just going to glue them together as is. And actually, it wasn't bad. So I wouldn't, if you do this, I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to remove the canvas off of it. So I was lucky that the size fit two of the Dollar Tree frames without any problem at all. So this one I feel like is probably better. Well, I don't know. Let's just have, I guess because it's a 20 instead of 19.5, you're going to see some of this white, but it's up at the top. So I feel like when you hang it, no one's going to see the top. But I do like how the diamond dots worked. It was sticky. I thought I would run out of diamonds after I did the first one, which was this one that has a lot of blues and purples. But then this one has a lot of orange right here. So it's some different shades. So I actually had leftovers. I didn't run out at all. And I got this on sale. I think I paid $21.99 for it. So I don't remember. I think it's around $44. But these two come stuck together on one canvas. So I slit it down the middle and worked on one part at a time. So that's my finish. Oh, and I have the sticker for All Dogs Do Go to Heaven, so I'll show you. I'm sure you've probably seen it, but this is what it's going to look like finished. And I wanted so badly to make that dog white, but the more I look at it, I'm nowhere close to, right now I'm working on this part down here. I'm nowhere close to getting up to that point yet. But with the white around it, even if I have the outline in black and my dog had a brown spot, I would put a brown spot there. I just don't know how much he would stand out. So I have time to think about it. If any of you have any comments about how you would do that, if you were trying to change the color of the dog from a black dog to a white dog with a white background, because I even thought about changing the little glow around him to maybe like a light yellow or a light peach color, but the more I look at it, the more I think maybe it's best to leave it as is. So your thoughts would be appreciated if you wanted to share any ideas or thoughts on that. So this painting has 31 colors, and it starts out 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, but after 3, it goes into symbols and letters. And I'm using my big trays, and I have actually 2 sets of 24 of these that come in this container. I don't know if you could see it. Whoop, I don't want to drop it on the floor, but it's got shelves and they fit perfectly into each shelf. And I picked it up on Amazon, and I'll tell you, when I got it, it was a lot less expensive than what the price is now. I think now it's $84, and the trays all come with covers too. So they snap on plastic covers that are clear. But when I'm working on a painting, I keep the covers off. It just saves a step from having to take the cover off each time. What else about that? Yeah, I got that for $10 less than what it's selling for now. Plus, there was a 20%, I believe, box that you could click on to get a 20% discount. So I went ahead and picked up 2 of them. But I use this organization while working on my painting, and I just like it better than the little Tic Tacs or the Elizabeth Ward containers. It just, to me, is faster and easier, and I jump around with my colors all the time. I'm not one to do all of one color and then all of another color. I'm all over the place with different colors. So it works best for me. I've tried different ways, and that's what you have to do until you find what works out best for you. I'm in no hurry to really finish this, and I plan to just take my time and enjoy it. And I know that I will probably have a new dog before I finish it. And sometimes I just imagine having that little dog sitting in my lap here while I'm painting this, or, it's not really painting, but it kind of is, this canvas. It's funny because when people talk about it being a painting, because I used to do a lot of acrylic painting, I'm like, that's not a painting, but now I find myself calling it a painting. So, but I really, really like diamond painting. I enjoy it more than regular painting now. And that was something that I really never expected. There's a lot of things in life that we don't expect. I never expected to do a video. I never expected to stay home as much as I do now since I've been diamond painting. I was more of a run out with my friends and play bingo on the weekends, or go to thrift stores and just run around town and, not really be at home a whole lot. And now that's all I want to do is get home so that I could get into my comfy clothes and turn on my phone. I usually watch videos. Sometimes I'll watch TV if there's something good on, but turn on my videos, there's a whole assortment of different videos that I like to watch while I'm diamond painting. I still like to watch my thrifting people that do resell. So I watch Crazy Lamp Lady, Thrifting Vegas, Nifty Thrifter. I mean, I've probably got a dozen of them that I really enjoy. And I also, of course, watch a lot of my fellow diamond painters' WIP chats, as well as unboxings. And there's a couple people I follow spiritually, and they do discussions and prayers. I like that. It's very soothing to me. It's kind of like my meditation. There's one guy that I try to keep up with a couple times a week. He does the Bible in a year, from beginning to end, the New Testament, and then always has like a little summary of what he had just read from the Bible and explains it. And he's a good apologist. He's been teaching for a long, long time. He's a theologian, and he makes it really, really easy to understand and puts it in really good context. As the Holy Spirit does guide us as we read it. But it just is really helpful to have his commentary afterwards. I also enjoy watching another one that is called Saint Faustina's Diary. And that one is so interesting. It's just hard because I haven't figured out a way to do it in order of her entries. So I tend to find videos and they jump around. I just always click like so I know if it's one I've already heard. But I haven't really sat down and examined it to find out how I could go in order. But it doesn't necessarily have to be in order. It's just so intriguing about her life and her experiences with our Lord, him talking to her, to her heart. And she had to find an artist to paint the image of the Divine Mercy, which was a struggle for her. She lived in the 1930s. She died in 1937, so that'll give you an idea. I think she was only around 35 years old. So she was born in the early 1900s. And she just talks about her life. It's a diary. So basically it's entries into her journal or into her diary. And I mean, I can't really say enough about it to help you know what's going on in it, but that's just another thing I listen to. And what else is going on? Just diamond painting. And as far as like New Year's resolutions, I don't really make per se a New Year's resolution. Last year I actually did, but I didn't until February. No, actually, was it last year or the year before? These years go by so fast, but I think it was last year. And I'm not overweight, but I was starting to get uncomfortable in my clothes. Everything was so tight. And I was over at my daughter's house. Yeah, it probably was 2 years ago because it was right after she had her baby, and her baby is 2. And she goes, "Mom, I'm going on a diet and I'm going to do something different this time," because she's always dieting, the poor thing. She has her father's genes, and on that side of the family, they have some heavier women. But anyway, I think it's genetics. And I always felt bad for her because she struggles so hard with her weight. But anyway, she told me about keto, and I was like, what is keto? I mean, I've heard it, but what exactly is it? And she said, well, let me show you my shopping list because I've been making a shopping list the last couple days. So I was looking at her shopping list and I'm like, you can eat this stuff? And she's like, yeah. And I said, I thought you would have like a whole bunch of low calorie stuff and sugar free stuff. She goes, well, yeah, I have some sugar free stuff, but the low cal stuff isn't necessarily going to help you lose weight. It's more the combinations of food that you eat, and it's kind of a opposite in thinking. Um, and she just explained it to me, and I didn't really understand it, but I said, let me copy that shopping list and let me follow what you're doing because it looks like I could do that kind of diet. I just can't do a diet where I have to eat a bunch of salad and stay away from, some of my favorite foods. But I see some of, I can eat meat, which, I'm a meat eater, and I can eat meat without bread and just have like a chicken breast and some vegetables. I'm good with that. So lo and behold, I got really into it and I loaded the app. I'm trying to think, Carb Manager. I lowered my carbs, I eliminated the sugar, and I followed it to a T. Like I allowed myself 20 carbs a day, which isn't a lot if it's 20 net carbs I'm talking about. So net carbs are the total after you subtract the fiber content. So if you look on the label and you see something as 36 grams, but then it has 18 fiber, you can subtract the fiber from the carbs. Also, if there's alcohol sugars, not regular sugar, but if it's alcohol sugars, you can subtract that also and get your net carbs after the subtraction of those and your fiber. So anyway, I stuck to it. And at first I wasn't noticing any pounds being lost at all. Like I wasn't losing any pounds, but my clothes were getting looser and looser. And so I decided to measure myself. And I did do that in the very beginning. I took my measurements and my weight and I wrote it down. But I was losing inches. And then I started losing pounds, but it would be alternating. I'd lose a few pounds and then I'd just stand still, but I'd lose inches. Then I'd stop losing inches and I'd lose a few pounds. So it was like this kind of balancing thing going on. And I had my goal set, and by October I reached my goal. And it even said in the Carb Manager when I would reach it. And it was funny because it told me when I would reach it, and I did. So that was pretty cool. And so now I've upped my carbs to about 75 a day, and I'm maintaining. It's been a year since I got my goal, and I have not gained any weight back. When I was sick with like a bad cold, I actually lost like 4 or 5 pounds, but I think it was a lot of water. And I stayed at that weight for a while, and then I slowly went back to where I think it's where my body needs to be. And, I splurge, but if I splurge, the next day I start right back doing the same thing and the pound drops off. If I gain 3 or 4 pounds because I eat a bunch of pizza and I eat an ice cream cone and then I eat some Auntie Anne's pretzels and then I eat some Doritos, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to gain 5 pounds. And it's usually not the next day, but the day after that, my scale will move up a couple pounds. And then I cut back to just meat and vegetables. I do eat beans now, and I do eat some fruit because the first year, even natural sugar can store in your body as, bad sugar as far as, weight gain. So anyway, that's my history of keto, and it just works for me. Now you have to be careful. Certain blood types aren't good with keto. In talking with the doctor, if you are an O blood type, keto is really good. But if you're an A type or an AB type, you have to be very careful because there's something about lowering your carbs and raising the fat that just doesn't work as well with your blood type. I'm a B, so I'm kind of borderline on that. But, like I said, I went off and just lowered my carbs, and I'm not on that strict low carb, just I would say medium amount of carbs. Nothing like I used to be. I probably consumed 200 carbs a day before I started keto, and that was where my problem was. And I kept blaming it on my midlife stuff. When you get a certain age, you just, you're not burning fat as easy as when you were younger. And I just said, well, I'm older and it's just here to stay. But, that's not true. You can always improve your health no matter what age, if you want to. And as long as you're comfortable with where you are, that's all that matters. I'm not saying that people need to lose weight by any means. I just think that you need to be happy, with where you are, no matter what that is. And being healthy is really the goal. Everybody wants to be healthy. So my daughter actually ended up, she works in the medical field, and she had been studying a lot about different ways to lose weight, and nothing was working for her. And so she started talking to people that had that bariatric surgery, and she's keeping a diary because that was the surgery that she went in for early December, and she ended up, the doctor found when he was in the operating room that she had a hiatal hernia. She had a hernia in her diaphragm that she didn't know about. But anyway, supposedly the hole where the diaphragm has, where your esophagus goes into your diaphragm or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly how that works. But it was 4 times or 5 times the size that it should be. So he had to operate on that also. And she said that that was the most painful part of recovery, was getting over that hernia operation. And she said the stomach part was nothing. So she had to be on liquids just up until December 31st, which was yesterday, or maybe December 30th. And now she can eat soft foods. She was able to puree some of her foods last week, but she was having a difficult time. But now, yesterday, she ate a scrambled egg, and she also ate a couple other soft foods. I can't remember what it was, and she had no problem. Of course, her portions are super, super small, but her goal is to lose 100 pounds, and she just wanted this badly because her knees were starting to hurt, and she was borderline diabetic. So I'm happy for her, and I'm supporting her as much as I can through this. She knows what kind of journey she's on actually for the rest of her life. But she's in her 30s, her late 30s. Her body will snap back as far as, people talk about loose skin, and she's not really worried about that. She just wants to be feeling better and not developing any diseases or anything later, like heart disease, diabetes, have to have knee surgeries or anything like that. So I'm glad that she's happy and that everything went good. She had an excellent doctor. She follows him on Facebook, and she's been following him for about a year. And she did have some, not really complications, but she did have a hard time in recovery. But other than that, everything is doing good for everybody here at my house. So I work very slow. I did this little tiny section right here, and I'm getting ready to remove the plastic right next to it because I'm ready to start the next section. I think I'm going to go all the way across and then go up and start over again. Oh, I just hit my little, actually that made it look easier to see. But I got all the way up to this point and all the way down to the bottom. So it's probably like I would say a 3-inch by 6 or 7-inch square that I did, that I started late last night. So at this speed, I'll probably be finished with this in a month to 2 months, hopefully. And I'll be sure to share that with everyone. So I'm going to sign off right now, and I don't really know anything else coming up that I can share with you, so it may be a while before I come back online, or I may get the urge to do another WIP Chat, but probably when I get my puppy, I'll do a WIP Chat and I'll show you who I'm rescuing from our local shelter. It's definitely going to be one of those little chihuahuas that were in that horrible situation. But I wish you all a happy new year, and I hope everyone has good health, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.